Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'd. So today we're going to talk about the purity of water, and we're going to mention two hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding the purity of water, because it's very important for you guys to know that when it's time for wudu, what water you can use, what water you cannot use. And I thought we talked about it once before, something about this, but we didn't talk about these specific hadith, if I recall. So in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ was asked about by a man about the sea. He said, "Inna narkabu al-bahr wa nahmilu ma'na qalil min al-ma' fa in tawadda'na bihi atishna afanatawadda'u min ma' al-bahr fa qala an-nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam huwa tuhurun ma'hu al-hillu maytatuhu." And this was a hadith collected in Tirmidhi wa Ruwahu Malik wa Shafi'i wa Ahmed. So in this hadith narration, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ seeking knowledge, asking the Prophet ﷺ about the ruling related to seawater, because he needed to know that. So that shows us that it's important to ask, that you ask the people of knowledge when you don't know. When you need to know something about Islam, you should ask the imam or ask your teacher if they have knowledge about that issue, or those people who have more knowledge than you in the religion. So this man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked about the sea. He said, "We travel on the sea and we carry with us very little water when we're on the sea." He said, "Can we make wudu? Can we purify ourselves for salat with the seawater? Because if we use our water that we bring with us, we won't have anything to drink. So can we use the water of the sea to make wudu?" And then the Prophet ﷺ answered by saying that the water is permissible to use and the dead sea creatures are permissible to eat. Meaning they're lawful. Okay? They're halal. What we learn from this hadith, as I wrote on the board, we learn that water in the sea is pure. And it purifies. Meaning that if you are on the sea, or you're on the beach somewhere, or what have you, and you need to make wudu, you can use the seawater to make wudu. Even if it's salt water. Even if it is salt seawater. No. Drinking is different. Because drinking, it isn't that it's impermissible, but drinking, that's going to cause you harm. So because it's harmful, then it's impermissible. It's impermissible to hurt yourself. Okay, or to kill yourself. Or to hurt others. That's not lawful in Islam. So if you use the drinking water, yes. Yes, to hurt someone is haram. You didn't know that? Come on now. So it's not permissible to hurt one another or to hurt yourself. So if you drink seawater, that hurts you, of course, because it's not healthy for you because of the salt. It's going to cause you to become dehydrated. Because it's harmful, yes. Cigarettes. Is there anything in the Quran? Has anybody read a verse about the cigarettes in the Quran? No, you haven't. You haven't read something that specifically talks about the cigarettes. But cigarettes are harmful, so then they're haram. They're haram because they're harmful. Because they are killing you. They are causing harm to your body. They are poison. So that's why it's impermissible to use them. Yes. Okay, listen. Let me finish, please. So, again, we can, Ahmed, if you're on a boat, or if you're in a raft and it's time and you need to make ghusl, you need to make take a bath, can you just jump in the sea?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Take a bath?
Okay, yeah. You could just jump in, make your intention to remove the impurity from yourself, that you're doing this so you can make the salat, and you could just jump in the sea. And then with that, you can also, clean your nose and clean your mouth. Clean your nose and clean your mouth, and that will be sufficient as a ghusl. That will be sufficient as a bath for you to be pure. Please put your feet on the floor. And Musa, pay attention. Okay, good. So also the other thing that is very important with this hadith, Abdul Karim, is that it is permissible to eat dead sea animals. So, you can eat a shark. You can eat whatever that lives in the sea and depends upon the sea to live, meaning that it will not survive outside of the water. It needs. So, dolphins you can eat. But they go wet. They jump in the air. Fish jump in the air. That doesn't matter. It needs the sea to survive. If you put a dolphin on the beach for more than, I don't know how long, it's going to die. Probably more than a couple of minutes, maybe. It'll be dead. So it needs the sea. So those creatures that need to live in the sea, they spend most of their time, almost all of their time in the sea. They have to. If they're outside of the water, then they will die. No, because a hippopotamus, a crocodile, all of those kind of animals are not dependent totally on the sea. They can live outside the sea. Yeah. No, so let's just stick with what we're talking about, because we're talking about water. Okay, so those are just a couple of small benefits regarding that hadith. The next hadith, listen. And this is a hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الماء طهور لا ينجسه شيء أخرجه ثلاثة وصححه أحمد. So in this hadith, this is another very important hadith that the scholars often explain and mention. And it's a hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu. And it was about a well, that you get well water from. And this was a very famous well during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And the people used to throw all kind of filthy things in there. Even dead dogs, all kind of blood, all kind of things were inside of this well. Yeah. Listen up. Pay attention. Sit up. So all of this kind of filth and najasa was inside the well. And they asked the Prophet ﷺ about this well. Because all this filth was in there. Blood. There was blood in there. There was dog had died in there. There was many filthy things that were in there. Okay? And, listen up. And along with that, the Prophet ﷺ answered by saying, إِنَّ الْمَاءَ طُهُورٌ لَا يَنْجِسُهُ شَيْءٌ. He said that verily water is pure and nothing makes it filthy. Okay? Now, there's very important details with that, but what I wanted you to get from this is that water is pure and nothing filthy changes. If nothing filthy changes its smell, meaning something that is najis. For example, some of the things that are najis, if it is exactly defecation, okay, blood, dog saliva, or if a pig died in there, whatever, any kind of filthy things, listen, any kind of filth or urine or any of those things, if that is in there, those are some of the things that are najis. Those are some of the things that are filthy, okay? So if one of those items or something filthy like that falls into water, this is in general, that falls into water, as long as it does not change one of these three things, three characteristics of water, the smell, the taste, or the color. Okay? Meaning that if, for example, you have a big bucket of water you use for wudu, and if any of you have traveled to Africa or places like that, a lot of times in the houses, they may have big buckets of water. Yeah. Because they don't have enough running water or something like this. So then they conserve the water. Maybe they even use rainwater, okay?
In the villages.
Yeah, in the villages especially.
I went to the village.
But in also other places.
Before that,
Shh, be quiet. So, now, with that, so if water is not changed, so for example, if you have one of those big buckets of water, or something like that, and something najis falls into it, okay? Like one of the things that we said the dog, or we said some, things died in there, or what have you. But if it does not change, listen, Musa, if it does not change the smell, or the taste, or the color, you can still use it for wudu and ghusl. You can still use it for tahara. So for example, if you're in the bathroom and you have a thing of water. Now there are some differences, the scholars, the fuqaha, they differed. Some said if it's a small amount of water, less than qullatain, which is a certain amount of water, like I think it's, I can't remember the exact amount, but if it's less than that, they say if najis goes into it, then it makes it najis. But the correct view, inshallah ta'ala, according to some of the scholars, is that as long as it doesn't change the characteristics of the water. So, if you have, like when we go in the bathroom here, that little thing that we use for istinja, that thing of water, okay, the little thing you pour water. If something, for some reason, maybe a kid is in there, he's sloppy, and he urinates, some urine goes in there, okay? If it goes in there, but it doesn't change the color, the smell, the taste of the water, then you can use it. Then you can use it for wudu. This is in accordance with the opinion of some of the scholars. Some say no because it's a small amount of water. But the most important thing for you to know and to help you in all your life situations, wherever you are, if you're traveling, if you're out playing and it's time for salat and there's a creek around you or something like this, that the water, if there is no najasa, meaning those things we mentioned, like urine or defecation or blood or something like that, and it doesn't change the color of the water, then you can use it. Also, if it's a small lake or something, and there is seaweed and stuff like that, can you make wudu in it, Abdul Karim? With the seaweed in there?
No.
Why? Okay, yeah, you can. Because the seaweed is not najis. The seaweed and the tree leaves, even if it changes, it's not najis.
But tobacco's made out of trees. So what if that was water?
Yeah. Well, okay, good. Tobacco is not najis though.
Yeah.
Tobacco, listen, tobacco is haram, but it's not najis. Not everything haram is najis.
Yeah.
But everything najis is haram.
Pigs are.
So listen, like for example, exactly, the pig, using the pork and stuff like this. This is najis. This is najis. And it is haram. But not everything haram is najis. Very important to realize that. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an idea about that because that's very important. You need to know about the water that you use to make wudu. And I ask Allah the Almighty to grant us success in this life as well as the hereafter. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.